Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for a kind introduction. My name is Joel. I am the CEO of Remotion Designs, and I'm very excited today to tell you a little bit more about our company, and also to give you an example of our company as an incubated social venture. So first I will just tell you our story so you know what we are doing. Our mission with Remotion is to revolutionize prosthetics, revolutionize the way that an amputee who's missing a limb lives their life. We want to see prosthetics become an object of beauty that empower an amputee. We want prosthetics to become a symbol of courage, of confidence, to make even a warrior be able to fight again. We want to see prosthetics to be a symbol of adventure, reaching your limits, going beyond your limits, having athleticism, and being mobile. This is a fundamental human right, to be mobile. This is our vision for prosthetics, and it is especially possible for those who have more resources. But if you live in the developing world, as 80% of the amputees do, you may have limited options. In 2008, we traveled to Jaipur, India, to see what life was like for poor amputees. And in the clinic of the Jaipur organization, we met an amputee by the name of Kamal. This is Kamal. He is 16 years old and lost his leg in a motorcycle accident the year before. He is using a bamboo staff to get around. This was all he could afford. And his hands are very callous and rough from carrying himself on the staff. He has developed spine back problems from using this way of getting around. We wanted to give Kamal a better chance to live at his full potential. And that's why we formed Remotion Designs out of Stanford University, where we first started working with Kamal and amputees in India. Our mission is to empower amputees with prosthetics that are affordable, but also very high performance. I talk about performance because in the developing world, there's a big need for not just cheap products, but also products that do not sacrifice on the quality of performance. Here I show an example of a very poor performing knee joint. This is something that is very typical in the developing world. This is called a single axis knee joint because it has one axis. This is very similar to a door hinge mechanism. I am a mechanical engineer by training. This is one of the most unstable and dangerous types of knee joints because it does not give you a very stable gait. It takes a long time to learn. It is dangerous and psychologically damaging to confidence. It is very cheap. This knee joint is actually $30, but we do not think this was high enough performance, even though it is affordable. A second example, here we see a patient walking in rural India over very rough, uneven terrain with a non-articulating leg. It is a stiff leg. It does not bend. And you can see his leg swinging around to the side as he walks. This is very awkward walking. It is also very exhausting, especially on such rough terrain that is uneven. And so these two types of devices are very typical in the developing world in prosthetics because this is all that was affordable. I have here a very expensive knee joint that I brought with me. There's a titanium knee joint as an example of very expensive, good performing knee joint available in the US. These can often cost $5,000 US, just the knee joint. You also need to have the other parts. Our solution was to take inspiration from what was available in the West and make it much cheaper. And so that's why we developed the solution we call the diaper knee, which is a plastic version of this kind of knee joint. It's called a polycentric knee joint. Much more stable than a single axis. It's made out of polymer, so it can be mass produced, it can be made very cheap, and it can be very durable. And we were able to reduce the manufacturing cost down to $20 US. I have a diaper knee here in my hand. This is one of the most affordable knee joints in the world currently. And it has a performance that is similar to Western polycentric knee joints, drastically improving performance at a reduced cost. But to give you an idea of what it looks like to walk on a diaper knee, here I will show you Kamal, the first patient, where the diaper knee, taking his first step. You can see his walking is natural, confident, does not have to use a staff. He can have both his hands free, carry things. As an engineer, this is one of my proudest moments, to see something that we made with our hands directly impact one person. But I will tell you an honest confession that even though it is one of my proudest moments, it also made me sad because I realized that one person was not enough, and we wanted to get this to many more people in need. And we were very fortunate to receive a lot of press coverage for this invention, being featured in magazines like Time Magazine, Business Week, Fast Company, CNN. But I do not think it was enough just to invent something great. We want to help many more Kamals, and with 20 million amputees or more in the developing world, we wanted to transition from inventors to entrepreneurs. And amputation is a global problem, rising every year from causes like diabetes, accidents, road, vehicle, trade, and trauma due to things like war, landmines, explosions, gunshot wounds. Here is where we transform from engineers. And we have currently been working in India with the Jaipur organization, our partners in India. There have been over 2,000 patients fitted. This is an older slide. We got the updated number last week. It's 2,250 patients currently wearing this knee. And our goal is to have many, many more amputees fitted in countries all around the world. Social impact from re-empowering an amputee is economically great. If you have the ability to walk, you can now increase your earning potential, and this is a big incentive for a country to invest in re-empowering amputees. It also creates jobs and has an impact on the human psychology that is even harder to put a number to. That is what we're doing with remotion in a nutshell. And now we are working with this technology in the developed world to partner with NGOs who fit prosthetics to give them lower cost knee joints, drastically lower cost. And this is the first stage of going to scale that we partner in different countries. So early next year, we will be expanding the Jaipur knee to countries other than India. And hopefully, we can eventually reach to Korea. So, here we see Kamal, he climbed a tree with the Jaipur knee. Now that you know a little bit about what we are doing and why we are doing it, I want to go into the social venture incubation experience. We had a lot of help to do this project, the Jaipur knee. We would not have been able to do this without the help of many, many people. This is a team experience, and we have many mentors, and we are actually part of an incubator right now. So I hopefully can share this as an example to you of what we found very useful and also what we found difficult, so we can learn from each other's experiences as we try and build our own incubator and have many, many more ventures reach the scale. I will show a brief timeline. So we started in 2008 at Stanford University. So our incubator was originally a university, and this is a technology-based solution. I'm an engineer by training. It was very appropriate for us to start at Stanford University, where we had all of the resources available, professors, testing equipment, experts in anything that we needed to find, be it materials, manufacturing, mechanical, psychological, clinical, medical. And so we fit the first patient in 2008, Kamal. In the red, I highlight that in the beginning we spent most of our time understanding what the problem was. Yesterday I gave a talk on something I call design thinking, which is a method that we use to use creativity to solve our problems in a methodical way. People often think that creativity is only for the few who are geniuses, but we have found this is not the case. We can teach creativity in a methodical method, and the key to this method is very simple. Is that it starts with an understanding of a human need, in our case, prosthetics. And that is how we started our project, with an understanding of Kamal, having an empathy for this problem, and the other problems of amputees in India in general. Then we transitioned to technology development, and since 2009 we have been taking remotion forward to scale. Here's where we go from engineers to businessmen. In 2010, we joined an incubator called EREV, designed for the other 90%, the name of the incubator, and graduated to Stanford University. So we are now on our own to understand the business aspects of scaling. And over the last year, as I said, we have been fitting many patients in a peace trial in India. But more importantly, working out our business model, our strategy of scaling, and being sustainable in the long term. Oh, and I might point out our total resources to date has been $55 US dollars. But all of this work has been funded under. This is a very, very small amount by standards in the US. So I give this as an example that you do not need much to fund a very innovative social venture, even a technology-based one like ours. There we see DREV design resolution. Remotion is currently one of the eggs inside of this organization. They give us office space, mentorship, and other benefits that I will now share with you. But here I give you an example of DREV's model of incubating. And I will share that it is very much close to design thinking, where first we're identifying the opportunities. And DREV has a very simple model for identifying opportunities, is that it must be a problem that can impact over 1 million people. So this incubator cares about large social problems, and often as social entrepreneurs, I think we must be very encouraging of doing small ideas, but also think of the big picture to identify problems that are global, so that we might prioritize which problems to solve. Other stages are more familiar: designing products, delivering to users, scaling for impact. We're not satisfied just with 1 patient or 1,000 patients. We want to go to large scale. An example of another kind of project that we work alongside with DREV is they also work on phototherapy devices. These are devices that treat babies for conditions, jaundice, when you're born. And they have a very innovative solution that uses blue LED lights, a very low-cost way to treat babies. So an example, we work side by side with DREV, and they have other projects that we also learn from. So I'll give you some highlights. These are my favorite benefits from being incubated. We work alongside people. Nothing can be achieved alone. Nothing great can be achieved as one person. So I get a great sense of community just working around people who also have a passion for making an impact. We have people who are more experienced than us around us, experienced in many different areas, including technology, business, and an understanding of human values. And this mentorship is very crucial for us as young entrepreneurs who don't really understand what is in store for us completely. As a part of the incubator, we have access to an open network of people who will trust us more if we are part of an organization. This is important network building. We have a space. I just took this picture a few weeks ago from my phone. We're all working in the space together. Because we are all in one place together, we can share ideas on similar problems. DREV works with phototherapy devices in India, and we also work in India with prosthetics. We have very similar problems: distribution, getting to scale, as examples. And so being under one roof gives us an opportunity to share ideas. And in general, I would call it symbiotic proximity. This is a biological term to mean the act of two of us being together is overall more than us apart. We benefit from each other. And here I show some pictures of us presenting together at the UN General Assembly in New York a few months ago. We were both invited, probably just because we were both together in the same room. So we can ride on each other's media attention and also knowledge. It's very difficult to be very honest, it's very difficult to be an entrepreneur trying something new. So I think the primary role of any incubator at the end of the day is to inspire the entrepreneur with entrepreneurial confidence. It's a rocky road, and it takes a lot of help and support. So I'll leave you with a few challenges that we have found along the way. I think the first step is always the most difficult. And so finding the right start, the right human need to solve, I think is very challenging. the first 5%. We're not worried about being able to engineer solutions or design products because that's what we are trained as specialists. But knowing where to start is very difficult, and I think that is something that the incubator can help you with, to guide the entrepreneur towards the right kind of problem that fits the team and is an appropriate opportunity. We're also very interested in not just having one success. One remotion design is not enough. We want millions of social entrepreneurs to start companies that are innovative. And so doing this process over and over and over faster is a challenge. We want to fail quicker and try again over and over and learn from our mistakes together. There was a great presentation yesterday in our panel where the presenter from Korea showed many of his failures. 4 or 5 times he failed with his project to serve disabled people. And I thought that was very noble and very important for us to all share our failures so that we can fail faster and thus succeed quicker. And lastly, I think a major challenge is just sharing knowledge amongst ourselves. I am in Silicon Valley, but there are entrepreneurs all around the world that we can learn from. Be it learning how to start a business, maintain a business, scale a business, how to set up an incubator, the process, the method of creativity, the method of innovation. There's a lot of knowledge that I would highlight. We need to figure out more ways to share information across. So I'll leave you with this thought. A picture from Costa Rican jungle. I think of the incubator as this forest, this environment to nurture the young trees. And so with that metaphor, my question is, how can we make this environment for entrepreneurs even more fertile so that we can grow faster? Thank you very much.
Hi everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
안녕하세요. 오하요 gozaimasu. And ni hao. It's my great honor to be here to present to you all. May I know who? I came from Hong Kong. May I know who came to Hong Kong before? Can you raise your hand? Not many of you. Please come more. In Hong Kong, if you come, you will know. There is always a long queue in everything, seemingly. A long queue before the Disneyland Hong Kong, a long queue at the tram station to the peak, a long queue when you go shopping in front of the LV shop, a long queue on many of the toilets even. So long queues everywhere. Actually, a lot of Hong Kong people are waiting. I know that in these 2 days we talk a lot about the poverty in village, but I want to say that in the city, in the urban area, there are a lot of issues that we have to be waiting now. In Hong Kong, we have a lot of problems. A place that we love, the elderly population, the aging population, is going to be doubled within 10 years. Our Gini coefficient, we are world number 1 among all the developed economy. It's what a shame, right? And we have a lot of ethnic minority problem. A lot of children at school, they have a big poverty issue, even in the urban area. So there are a lot of things that we want to do. We don't want to wait. So Social Ventures Hong Kong, we are forming by a group of young professionals. Right now we have 120 professional volunteers. For full-time staff, we have only 5 of us. But we are focusing on providing financial and non-financial support to the social enterprises. So we support both for-profit and non-profit social enterprises. And we want venture philanthropy. It is actually a term that been heated up in the past 5 to 10 years in US and then in Europe. But Hong Kong, we are the first one started off this since 2007. I know that a lot of initiatives have been going on in the Asia region, so I'm coming here to learn more from you guys too. So on one side, we have a lot of social issues in the urban area, a lot of social problems. And actually, at the same time, there is some change in the giving landscape. A lot of philanthropists, they have been doing giving for many, many years. A lot of family foundations, they have been doing a lot of things. But they find some problem with the more traditional charity. Sometimes they will just give out the money, and then the charity will come back to you at the same time, around the same month of the year. They will ask for the same amount of money because they have to support the same services. But once the funding is stopped, even if it is from the government, all the services will stop. So people start making some questions that is the charity sustainable? So a lot of people, especially after the .com era, a lot of people think about venture philanthropy just because of the venture capital and also the private equity model. So they want to apply the same model to the philanthropy world. So it's called venture philanthropy. And at the same time, social entrepreneurship fits into a space that now you could give out your money as an equity investment. So it makes a big social investment market that we talked about in these days too. So the model is simple. So we provide financial support as well as non-financial support, meaning network and our professional expertise. So actually right now, those 120 professional volunteers involved, they think that I want to do something to the society. But instead of picking up garbage in the beach or selling flags on Saturday, they think that our knowledge is our asset. So right now they are involved to be a volunteer, but using their professional expertise and contributing in something more sustainable. So at the same time, we create sustainability, we build capacity. That's our main purpose. We want to build scale, as Joe said. We have spent a lot of time. The professional hours are expensive. We don't want to do something just helping one person or two person. We want ultimately this social enterprise to grow, just like private equity. It could grow into scale, and then we could exit our money. So we could recycle all the money, going back to support another social enterprises. So we're looking for ROI, return on investments, as well as SROI, social return on investments. And in Hong Kong, we've just been developing social enterprises, been headed up for this topic since 2006. It's very, very young. We're still at the infant stage. Official figure, we have around 300 social enterprises in Hong Kong. But most of them are running by the non-profit sector. It's just like shelter workshop. We could hardly say it's social enterprises. We better say it's a welfare enterprise. But so you cannot find a lot of good projects. So we have to keep ourselves more flexible in looking for projects right now. So we are setting up a non-profit entity which is called ASES20101030 Foundation. Another one is called ASES2010 Capital. The Capital One is an actually investment vehicle. It's we raise a little pilot fund right now. It's a capital support, equity primarily. And on the other side, for the non-profit vehicle, we support non-profit sector to do some social innovation. So in case there are social workers, they are doing a good job, or somebody wants to set up a non-profit social enterprise, we can support them with this space here. So we want to keep ourselves more flexible to cope with the market, instead of looking at handpick some of the good things in the market. So in our structure, we have formed a honorary advisory group, and then among all those 120 people, many of them we call it directors and members. Actually quite ridiculous, they do volunteer work, but they have time and money commitment every year. Although it's not that much, a few hundred $US every year, but it means something. Because we have invested into the social enterprise. We cannot say we are volunteer. We come here today For example, Joe, I tell you, I come here today to help, but tomorrow, oh, I'm busy, I have trouble, I have a job. So we have to get some more committed volunteers to make sure they're committed. So all those 30-something people are our core group here. For the other ones, 17 to 90 of them, they are just newcomers. They come and see how it goes, but gradually when they go into the projects, they will be just addicted. For example, just one of our members is actually a partner of McKinsey and Company Hong Kong. He's very busy, always traveling, but right now he goes into one of our invested company to be the chairman of that board. So every month he committed a lot of time, and then he just sent me an email a few weeks ago and said, "Can I do more? Can I have more work to do?" So it's that they are addicted, and this group of people who have a good chemistry that we are all thinking that we are helping, at least we're thinking that we are helping the world, we are making some changes gradually. So we purposely extend our network to a wide spectrum. We have lawyers, accountants, bankers, from journalists, from the PR sector, HR, whatever you want. So we talk to our social enterprises that whatever you need, you just have to talk to us. We could extend our network to find the right expertise to your social enterprise. I'll quote some examples. Actually, I myself is coming from the corporate world. I work for PCCW, Richard Lee's company, the telecom operator in Hong Kong. I work on the strategy and corporate development. But since 3 years ago, I think that it's no good to work just for money. And I find it in these 2 years, a lot of, especially investment bankers, come to us and say that I want to do something different. Maybe because of the crisis, people start thinking of something else. And actually, I'm in touch with a lot of Ivy League graduates, Stanford, Harvard, and they are all want to do something different. It's not just their career is not just management consultants, not just an investment bankers. They want to do something else. So we want to capture this trend to get more social resources coming into this space. So when we talk about social ventures Hong Kong, we have to talk about the 30s Group. 30s Group is actually a social organization, which is also the mother organization of SVHK. It is actually a social organization founded since 2003. We formed by a group of young professionals from all walks of life. Actually, they have around, we have around 800 members right now in Hong Kong. We are all interested to contribute to our society. So actually we do three things. First of all, we will, it's a learning platform. We organize a lot of forums. We talk to each other and we invited a lot of experts to talk on different social issues. And secondly, we write articles and express our opinion in the government bodies on our opinion on some social issues. So actually we are writing in around 6 newspaper columns regularly, weekly. But at the same time, the more that we learn about the society, the more we think we are helpless. We cannot just stay like this. We don't want to be just in the long queue. We want to do something. We want to jump out of the queue. So we also do a lot of things. We believe action. A lot of people, politicians, socialists, or people just keep talking. They think that talk could move the government. But I can tell you, it failed. In the current world, we cannot just keep fighting, advocating. It's not enough. We have to do action. So all these years, we have actually generated over 20,000 professional hours from the business sector, from our volunteers, into helping social enterprises. And after all these, we think that all the professionals are changing their mind. They believe in action more than writing articles. Some of them stop writing articles and think that it's no use. Actually, one of my partners, the executive director, is a journalist working in a TV station for over 16 years. But she then quit her job one day and come back to us. I want to do something else. Because she thinks that she's a journalist, always interview on some social issues. But today, she interviewed somebody, after 2 years or 3 years, the issue coming up again, and she interviewed the same person. And that same person saying the same sound bite about the social issue. So it means nothing changed. So she thinks that today action is more important. All of us, no matter you are from school, no matter you are from business sector, no matter you are from the non-profit sector, if we do something a little different, that could be very different. So in Hong Kong, as I said, there's not a lot of good projects that we could invest in. So we have to keep ourselves flexible again. So apart from doing social investments, we incubate at the same time. So we get our hands dirty, a group of volunteers will work on some social issues and develop some projects. Food as a Christian-based organization, they have 20 years experience in running social enterprises. They train the deviant youth. Many youth in Hong Kong, after coming out from jail, they could hardly back to track because for the first place, maybe their family is not accepting them, please don't come home. And on the other hand, they simply could not find a job. So many of them, actually over 60% of them, would go back to the old tribe. So just like Jamie Oliver, in Hong Kong we have Funis. They run some career training. They run hair salon in specific for this social enterprise because they think that hair salon skills is something that they could use lifelong. It's not just like being a waiter or waitress. So actually they have been running quite successful. They have 2 salons. By the time 2 years ago when we invested into it, they have a plan to expand into 10 salons within 5 years. So it's a scale-up project. We go in and we send somebody to the board who is Christina. She's actually working in the Jardine Group as an HR professional. So her expertise help a lot in building up an HR system for that social enterprise. Maybe you are quite familiar with Dialogue in the Dark. In case you don't have a background about this project, it's actually a social enterprise founded in Germany. They have over 20 years experience. Right now they have footprints in over 150 cities. They are employing around the world 6,000 blind people already. So in Hong Kong, it was just launched in February this year. We have invested into it, and at the same time we sent somebody, this big guy, Brian, into the board. Actually, he was previously the director of operation in Disneyland Hong Kong. So his experience quite fit into this social enterprise to help Dialogue in the Dark to build up as a theme park in Hong Kong. The concept is simple. They have a complete darkness room. When you go inside, it's complete darkness. A blind guy will take you through for a 75 minutes tour during the darkness. Different experience. It's very fun. So I think we all think that this is a good case. It's because it achieves social missions to help the discrimination problem on blind people or disabled people, but at the same time, people would find it very fun to play with it. And to help them, we also send a social marketing team with all our professional volunteers. We have to create a big awareness for theme park-like social enterprise. So while we're thinking, we brainstorm, we have an innovation thought of. It's a concert in the dark. It's a brand new one around the world. Even the founder, Andre, said that they haven't run at this scale. 200 people going into a dark room, complete darkness room, to do a concert before. So we find a pop star, Anthony Wong, and People Market People See, producer in Hong Kong. And we get the commercial sponsor. It's not any philanthropic money, it's commercial sponsor by one of the telecom operators in Hong Kong. So it is a very successful event. And after that, we get over 10 million Hong Kong dollar media coverage for face value. But Dialogue in the Dark has to pay nothing. Actually, they got a lot of several hundred of thousands Hong Kong dollars as the contribution to the foundation. So I think we think that this kind of support is what we want. At the same time, we incubate our own projects. We run Social Innovation Award every year. So this year, we just extend our footprint to Asia. Because we think that all the Asian countries share more or less the same problem. Asian population, deviant youth, the poverty issue. So we think that we want to raise everybody's idea. So it's a level 0 idea generating activity. So we get people to to submit idea for just 200 words about social innovation on some social issues. So for that, this lady thought about an idea to transform the child sponsorship program, like the one running by World Vision. You give a bit of money every month for children in Africa or Brazil. And, but at the same time in Hong Kong, there are over 100,000 singleton elders with no support at all. Either they have no children or their children already left them. So they're quite deprived. So she launched a elderly sponsorship program. So every family, every individual above a granny in the city, then the situation will change. And I have to talk about Diamond Cab, which is a brand new taxi service going to launch in January. We have been nurturing this project for over 3 years. Our team of volunteers meeting every week, and then one of our members dedicated himself, quit her job, going into to help this project. So because before, all the wheelchair people in Hong Kong, it's quite difficult for them to go out. Even a taxi, they have to fold the wheelchair, putting it at the back. So it's quite a difficult situation for them. So we have been cooperating with the taxi operator and also the elderly home group. They are our shareholder actually to form a new consortium to launch a brand new service. So we think that this project is a good illustration in Hong Kong to really bridge up with the business sector. It's again not just a good heart thing. It's not just charity. They are investing into this project, being the mainstream. So we think that this is very close to the social business already. And there are a lot more issues. We will launch the elderly community service. And after school program, we are running pilots. We do a lot of pilots, just like inventing new projects like a new job. We believe in pilot. A small pilot, you can learn a lot from it. And then when you are scaling up, you have a lot to learn about. And we collaborate with a lot of different organizations. We have a good network with all those business people around being our member. So we want to creatively reconstruct all the resources. I think that's the direction for us to go to. Because just growing project organically with our own hands are not enough. We have to grow with scale. We have to bridge up with all the different sectors. So these are some of the demands. So to sum up everything, I want to give a few points on the key learnings here. First of all, we think that all these 2 years, we find all the social enterprises, if they are not just looking at money, many of them do look at the social issues more. Actually, our people and network is more wealthy than the money. We just run a very small fund, but we should actually help the bridge fund. But many of them coming to us for just on the people, on the network. So I think many incubators around the world, when we see this is something that all those social enterprises, all the social entrepreneurs will treasure. And secondly, we are not heroes, but we create some. We want the focus to be on the social entrepreneur. We are helping them. We don't want to do everything by ourselves, but we help them to build up the capacity to do things by themselves. And we organize all the social resources, like cooperating with the academia, cooperating with the business sector, or the NGO, even the NGO sectors. Forming the partnerships to magnify and converge all the efforts, going back to the social enterprise sector. And we find it quite strange that all those people will change their mind, including the social entrepreneurs and also our professional volunteers. They actually change a lot of people around them too. So it's a game starting off with a few people, but later on many people will go into this loop. So the culture of social innovation and how they think social is actually what we want. After all, we think that we have a lot of Batman, the superheroes. But I think that it's more important sometimes that we have to get the help of Robin. We are Robin. Nothing fascinating, but we think that it is equally important to have Robin to help Batman to be a superhero. So sometimes people say that our role is very difficult. We are lonely on the road. But today we see a lot of people like-minded people here today. Every one of you, I treat you as a companion. So let's work out these things all together. Let's take the pride of being Robin. Thank you very much. Okay.